One of the most common pieces of advice that people give you when you're talking to ChatGPT is to be specific. But when you're talking to ChatGPT about a topic that you are not a subject matter expert in, that is the worst possible advice that they can give you. And I'm going to tell you why. Every AI model is going to give you an answer that is sufficient, meaning it's going to give you an answer that is good enough. It's never going to give you the best answer that it can possibly give you. And we've all had those moments where we've conversed with the model for 30 minutes or an hour. And I can even tell you a story about a year of talking to an AI model about a specific problem before it actually introduced me to the solution, the right solution. And the truth is, before ChatGPT even answers you, there's a silent test that takes place that determines whether the model is actually going to surface that solution or whether it's going to be trapped by the framing of your question, the specificity that everybody says you need to give it. Once you understand this problem, you can fix this with two simple messages that I'm going to share with you in this video. And it's completely different from what most people are going to tell you. Most people are going to tell you that you just need to write a better prompt, that your prompt needs to be longer, that you need to work on your context engineering and all of that good stuff. But when you're talking to ChatGPT, Claude, or any AI model about a subject that you have no expertise in, you don't know what good looks like. You don't know what the solution looks like. That's why we're talking to AI about it in the first place, because there's this assumption that AI has knowledge about this particular topic and it knows how to give me the right information or the best information about it, which is not entirely false. It does have information about that topic, but getting the best information, getting the right solution is the challenge. When you're dealing with AI with a topic that you're not a master of, and you have no way of personally verifying if the information is right, it's much more difficult. It's much more challenging. It is much more dangerous in those conversations. Now, if you're a real estate agent and you ask it to create a brochure for a listing that you have, you can look at it and your realtor taste is going to kick in and you're going to know whether your client and whether buyers are going to approve or disapprove of this. You're going to know instantly. You might not be able to put your finger on it, but you're going to know. If you're a copywriter and you have Claude write some copy and then you're reading the copy, you're going to instantly know, oh, this is horrible copy. This is bad. Or if you're a graphic designer and you use GPT to generate an image for you, you're going to instantly know if the design is good or not. If you're generating a landing page, you're going to instantly know whether it's a good landing page or not if you're someone who's been using Webflow or Framer for years. So when you're using AI and you have no expertise in that field, you're completely in the dark for the most part. And whatever answer you get back from the model, you have no way of verifying yourself. And then when you consider the advice that everyone's giving about being more specific, context engineering, adding context to the prompt, writing better prompts, longer prompts, now we have ChatGPT giving us a very specific answer. And it sounds right because it's hyper-focused and it's paying so much attention to what we said. But the whole time, that is the biggest problem in the entire process. And this is the easiest way for me to explain it, at least in my own mind. I want you to think about your kitchen table or a countertop in your kitchen and think about that as the full taxonomy of any particular topic that you want to learn about that you're not an expert in or that you have a very limited knowledge about. And then I want you to think about your prompt or your question as a glass of water. And you take that prompt, that question, that glass of water, and you place it on the counter or on the table. The area where the glass touches the table and maybe a little bit outside it and around it is the only area that the AI is going to focus on when responding to you. And then when you try to be more specific with your question, it just places the glass more firmly on the table in the same location. And all of the other area, all of the other vast amounts of data and information that can inform the solution are left completely out of the equation because you provided so much specificity that you locked it into this small little area. And this is the silent test that you're probably failing. Did my prompt, the context I gave it, did I lock the model into a very narrow area of its understanding and I actually forced it to give me a very limited answer. And that's the problem. Most people are asking ChatGPT for directions when they should be asking ChatGPT for a map. So the question is, how do you explore the territory of an unknown subject without writing a complicated, long, detailed prompt? A taxonomy is simply a map of the major areas, branches, and ideas within a particular subject. And all you want to do is ask ChatGPT, Claude, Gemini, Grok, any model you're using. Map out the full taxonomy of this topic and stop. That's it. The only thing we want Claude to do is to lay out the full landscape of this particular topic. We don't want it to try to read or bring into the context every possible idea. Just look at the landscape before I ask you my question. Stop should be enough, but if not, just add that on there. And what this does is it moves us from turning a flashlight on in a dark room to actually just turning on the light switch where we can see everything, and the model can as well. But now we have a second problem, because a full taxonomy of any topic is going to have far more information than you actually need. And so we need to have a way of prioritizing what information within the taxonomy of that topic is actually relevant to our query. And now's the time for you to just tell ChatGPT what your goal is. What are you trying to accomplish? And then ask it, of all of these different areas of the taxonomy, all of these different disciplines, ideas, subtopics, and subdomains, which ones are the most relevant to this particular goal that I have? And then follow up and say, use them to answer XYZ. And sometimes what I like to do, what other disciplines that you did not name and that most people probably would not consider also have some helpful or relevant information within them that can help me solve this problem in a unique way. And if all of this is too much, just remember this: map first, ask second, especially when you're asking about a topic that you know you are not a subject matter expert in. I started developing a local RAG system almost a year ago and had no idea about it until I started researching what RAG was several months after the fact. And then I found out there was a way for me to actually create it that was much more powerful than the version I had already created using certain solutions I had no idea I could use. But now my mind is completely blown away. Claude has been coding for over an hour putting it together. And if you want to be one of the first people to get access to it, make sure you click the link in the description to get on the wait list. This is going to blow your mind when it comes to creating your own personal RAG system, so to speak. Now, you don't need this for everyday questions and things that you're asking ChatGPT and Claude. And this does not guarantee that it's always going to be correct. You still have to check the responses, and using other AIs to critique the responses of another model are always something that I approve of. But the next time you're asking a model about a subject that you don't know anything about or you're not an expert in, don't be afraid to just have it map out everything first and then run your prompt. If you got value out of this video, make sure you hit the like button, subscribe to the channel, and as always, take care, have a great day, and I'll see you in the next video.